Hello, and welcome to day 11 of our 30-day spiritual growth challenge. I'm Kimberly Kiner, and I'm so excited that you're here because today's message is all about reassurance. And the topic is God knows and understands your battles. Reading from the book of Psalms, verses 139, 1 through 4. There was a time when I felt completely unseen, as if no one could truly understand what I was going through. The burden was heavy. I was going through a lot, and sometimes I wondered if anyone even noticed. But then I was reminded of this beautiful truth in Psalm 139, where it says, "O Lord, you have searched me and you have known me." And it was at that moment that I realized I was never alone. God was there, walking with me every step of the way. And as part of our 30-day spiritual growth challenge, we're intentionally seeking ways to find peace and purpose in our daily lives. Each day of this challenge is building on the last, and today is all about surrendering your battles to the one who knows you better than anyone else. But before we get started, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our incredible lessons that are coming up. Also, if this particular message resonates with you and you think someone else may want to hear it, share it with a friend. They may want to hear it too. All right, so let's get started. Let's read Psalm 139, verses 1 through 4 together. I'll be reading from the King James Version. It says, "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways." And 4 says, "For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether." We've all been there, haven't we? Those nights where the weight of our battles just felt unbearable, where no one really seemed to notice or understand what we were going through. But what if I told you, if you don't already know, that even in those moments, God not only saw us, but He knew every thought. He knows every thought before it's even formed in our minds. Psalm 139 reminds us that God is always ahead of us. He's always walking into our battles with us before we even realize that we're even in a battle. He's already prepared that path, and He knows exactly what we need. He knows it even before we ask, of course. But have you felt like that? Like that fight was too big for you to win? Like you were screaming for help, but no one couldn't hear you? Maybe you were facing heartbreak. Maybe you were grieving a loss, going through financial struggles or health challenges, or having that spiritual doubt where you felt utterly alone. But here's the good news. God hears, God knows, and He certainly understands. Even when we feel like no one else understands, God knows our hearts, and He's fighting on our behalf. So I encourage you to do 3 things today: reflect, release, and rejoice. These steps will help you find peace in the midst of the battle and draw you closer to God. He's the one who knows you, and He's the one that understands you the most. So number 1, first take time to reflect. Acknowledge where you are today. Think about the battles that you're fighting right now, whether they're in your relationships, whether it's your health, whether it's your career, or even within yourself. Reflection isn't about overthinking. It's about bringing your struggles to the surface and recognizing that God already knows them. He knows all about them. Remember, Psalm 139 says that you perceive my thoughts far off. There's nothing about your situation that's hidden from God. Second thing, release. This is where we give God the weight that we've been carrying all this time. Matthew 11:28, Jesus said, "Come unto me, all those who are weary and burdened or heavy laden, and I will give you rest." I want you to identify that one battle today, that one, just one, and surrender it to God. Speak it out loud in prayer. Write it in your journal, or simply say, "Lord, I give this to you." Release it. It isn't about giving up. It's about trusting that one who is already fighting on your behalf. Finally, third thing, rejoice. Even in the middle of your battle, you can find reasons to praise God. Rejoice is about victory. It's about recognizing that God is always with you throughout this whole process. Psalm 139 reminds us, it says that God is familiar with all of our ways. Rejoice in that fact that He knows you, that He sees you, and He's working all things out together for your good. Gratitude in the middle of a storm is a powerful act of faith. So as we close, I want to leave you with this challenge. This week, write down that one battle that you've been trying to carry alone. Say it out loud or in a prayer and surrender it to God. Reflect on how He's already working in your life. Release that weight and rejoice in the peace that only He can provide. Let's keep walking this journey of peace and purpose together. If today's message spoke to you, like I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it with someone who might need it, especially right now during the holidays. I want to thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time as we continue this beautiful journey of finding peace and purpose. Continue to be blessed and a blessing.